Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a good one here. It is now race number 21, if you can believe it, here as we get qualifying here kicking underway. Currently looking here at the 25 Ford Mustang. This is Ron Holyfield out here. Currently first lap was a 35.98. Looking for some more time here on lap number 2, but here comes Ron to the checkered flag. We'll keep an eye on the time. Does improve to a 35.45. Right now that is 8th quick of 8 cars, so some pretty sporty times right now. The quick time going to the 6th car of Johnny Barker. Also, good evening, race fans. I'm Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn Through Racing Network. Like I said, we got a good one here tonight. Race number 21, if we can believe it, at Worldwide Technology, also known as Gateway. 3 drivers we got to keep on here for the rest of the season. You know, there's only, I want to say, just about 4 more races after tonight. And the kind of 3 main contenders in the points are points leader Logan Koger, Dustin Coggins 25 points back, and then 17 points back from Dustin is Brandon Guerin. As we take a look, Frank Zingen, lap number 1 was the good lap, a 34.81, but lap number 2 there got big time loose, a 35.71. So not the time he probably wanted there on lap number 2. Now we take a look here at some more drivers with some late times here tonight. Steve Ritter in the 61 machine being one of them. Joe Hudson slots into P number 6. Isaac Salas goes to P number 2 in the 5 car. Remember, Salas 2 weeks ago won on debut at Chicagoland. Then last Friday we had a first time winner, Joey Gattina, walking away down in victory lane. Joey not making the call here tonight to try and go 2 in a row on Friday nights, but still a lot of people trying to make their mark here as we take an eye on Steve Ritter here, see what he can do here in qualifying, as Ritter off of turn number 4 for his first time lap. We'll keep an eye on the standings here on the left. Logan Koger goes to 6th quick. Steve Ritter to the pole with that lap. So Steve Ritter with the quick time here so far here tonight, only 1 car left. Can Koger get some more speed here out of the 80 machine here on lap number 2? Logan will head through 3 and 4 here for the final time in qualifying. And this will pretty much wrap up qualifying, as all 14 drivers here tonight have taken some sort of lap time here, as Logan jumps up to P number 3 with a 34.49. But when it is all said and done and everything is put into perspective, it looks like it will be the driver of the 61 machine, Steve Ritter, here tonight, going to be leading the field to the green flag here at Gateway. He is also going to walk away with that Riptide Radio Pole Award. So congrats to Steve on that, as what do we say to head down trackside and go through tonight's starting lineup. So here we go, folks. The starting lineup for the River City 140 will look like the following. Steve Ritter in that bone dry roofing 61 machine will lead the field to the green flag. To his outside will be his Wolfpack teammate in the number 6. It is Johnny Barker starting on the outside of the front row. Then we head to row number 2, starting in P number 3. That is our current points leader, the 80 machine of Logan Koger. Isaac Salas in the 5 machine. He will roll off P number 4, and rounding out the top 5, that will be the 46 car of Dustin Coggin. Jim Ott in the 4 machine, making a sporadic here Friday night appearance. Jim in the 4 car will roll off 6th. 7th going to the 16 machine of Matt Barber. Joe Hudson in the red 23 will start in 8th. 9th going to the GStone 21 machine of Rob Lowell. Frank Zingen in that 62 machine. He will round out the top 10. He will start P number 10. Kevin Stone in the 17 machine will start in P number 11. And 12th will be the 1 car of Brandon Guerin. Bryson Anderson in the 32 machine will roll off 13th. And Ron Holyfield in that 25 machine will round out the field here tonight. So 14 cars here set to do battle, 112 laps here on the board. This race should looking like it could be a very well kind of long run type of race, and especially with Steve Ritter already starting towards the front in this one, this could be a really good race for the driver of this 61 machine. So here we go. The field is rocking and rolling. We are underway. So next time by, we will turn the field loose and get ready here for 112 laps here at Worldwide Technology. Also, if you know, you know, the OG name of the track was Gateway as well. So one of the more unique tracks, as this track definitely 2 different ends of the speedway, 1 and 2 being much tighter, whereas turns 3 and 4 a lot more floaty. But you gotta be very careful on throttle application, because this track doesn't have a lot of banking, could easily get out from underneath you. But here we go. Steve Ritter gonna be in control here on the restart. Johnny Barker with a great start up top as we had green flag racing here at Gateway. The field 2x2 here into turn number 1, but Johnny Barker will take over the point here. Steve Ritter will try and hang on to second. Here comes Isaac Salas as well as Logan Koger. It looks like Ritter gonna take it easy here at the start of this one. Gonna try and keep those tires underneath that 61 machine, but already going for it in second as Koger right on the back bumper, a little bit loose there off of turn number 2. But lap number 1 will be led by the 6 car of Barker. So everyone able to make it through the first lap here. Cold tires not going to be too much of an issue for this field. I mean, as long as you know they get 3 laps on them, these cars pretty well set. You just got to be careful to not completely, buzz off a right rear tire on corner exit, as Johnny Barker almost gets a piece of the wall, doesn't get a good run down the front straightaway. That opens up the door for Salas here to the outside. Isaac Salas in that orange number 5, trying to keep the momentum rocking and rolling up in that high side. Gonna do just that, as Salas has the advantage going down the backstretch here. Salas will drive it in there deep, has a longer distance to go through the corner, but can put the power down maybe a little bit sooner. With this track having 2 very long straightaways here, that could be where it's at, as we have a new race leader, Isaac Salas, to the point here, and will lead here to start lap number 4. So Salas able to get clear from Barker. They will run 1-2. Logan Koger in 3rd, Steve Ritter 4th, and Dustin Coggins here rounding out the top 5. A little bit of gap then to Matt Barber. Jim Ott in 7th, Joe Hudson 8th, Frank Zingen in 9th, and Rob Lowell here rounding out the top 10 here early in this one. We click on over here to lap number 5. Koger taking a peek to the inside of Barker. Couldn't get enough of a run to kind of force the issue, at least at this moment. But once again, Logan, very, very good center speed there through 1 and 2. Was able to get right on Barker's back bumper. This time able to shade to the inside, now get to the inside of Barker, as Salas way up the racetrack. Not sure if he was trying to see what was up there or maybe missed corner entry a little bit, but that puts the top 3 right under a blanket here currently. Barker hanging up and hanging on to that top side lane. He's holding on strong here for the time being in that 6 machine, making Koger really work on that bottom side, and Barker gonna hang on to that position here. So far, the only car that's really kind of moved up through the field is our race leader, Isaac Salas, up 3 positions. You know, started P number 4, so already up towards his front here. But once again, Logan Koger trying to get around Johnny Barker. Hasn't had any success yet, but once again, these two going to go side by side here through 1 and 2. They'll make some contact there off of turn number 2, excuse me. Barker pretty hard into the wall there. Is Barker going to have some right front damage on that 6 machine, and that could be a tough break, getting some damage this early in this one. You can see that right front definitely kind of knocked on in a little bit, especially that upper control arm. So that thing's probably not driving straight or not driving the same way it was before. So man, contact this early in the race, you kind of don't want to see that, and I'm sure Barker not going to be the happiest camper behind the wheel of that 6 machine. Everyone else, it looks like no other real damage here for the time being on any other car, so we'll keep an eye on Johnny Barker, see if that damage impacts the lap times or anything like that. Last time by 35.85, that was, I believe, with a little bit of a hit. That time 35.54, so still right there with the lap times he needs to hit. But here comes Dustin Coggin to the inside of the 6. As that happens, battle for the race lead. Logan Koger trying to take over the point from Isaac Salas. Salas up top in that 5 machine. Koger down low in the 80. Right behind them, Coggin able to get around Barker. Those two might trade a little paint there for the race lead at the stripe. I think Logan gonna lead that lap, so Koger gonna walk away with at least 1 bonus point for lap led. Every point matters, especially in this championship fight. As Logan trying to get clear, Logan able to get clear there off of turn number 2. So new race leader out in front. The 80 machine has taken over the point here on lap number 10 here at Gateway. A little bit further in the field here, kind of this second pack. You know, this first pack, top 5, all kind of right in a line here currently. Then pack number 2 right here, Matt Barber, Jim Ott, and Joe Hudson. And a third pack starting to form on up, Frank Zingen, Rob Lowell, Kevin Stone, Brandon Guerin, all in this group as well. So kind of 3 to 4 distinct groups of cars racing around each other, trying to kind of figure out each other's paces, as well as maybe even their own pace a little bit here tonight. Last time by, fastest car on the speedway was our race leader, Logan Koger. Only driver in the 35.5, so this 80 machine using that clean air to his advantage, and currently trying to drive away from the field though. Salas driving it in there deep into turn number 3. He's once again out here searching this racetrack, trying to find that speed, but here comes Dustin Coggin as well. Coggin will take a peek to the inside of the 5 machine, but man, Salas is getting some really good runs off of these corners. That time by, we now have under 100 laps here left in this one, so heading in the right direction. Like I said, here currently, especially with these group of racers here tonight, this race could easily go from green to checkered. As here we go, Steve Ritter, he led the field to the green flag, now trying to get back some of that track position as Ritter trying to get past his Wolfpack racing teammate of Barker. Looks like Johnny Barker will slot back to P number 5 Ritter up into 4th here, so we got to keep an eye, especially if this run goes on for a while. This pace of this red number 61, see what he can do, see what he can kind of run on down here. Right behind them, still this battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th as Jim Ott trying to work around Matt Barber. Let's ride on board here with Jim Ott, see what he's doing to try and run down this 16 machine. And you can hear riding on board with these guys, I mean, quite a bit of slipping and sliding. I know usually with my camera packs here, we have the tires kind of turned up just a little bit more than normal, but especially here tonight, you'll see these guys sliding corner entry without the banking and the speeds that these things carry on corner entry, and then also sliding on corner exit, trying to pick up this throttle as early as possible, as now we see this pack also running down Johnny Barker as well. So I think that damage definitely affecting the speed of the 6 machine here tonight. Joe Hudson now able to get to the inside of Jim Ott. Then right in front of the Matt Barber to the outside of Johnny Barker. Matt will drive it in there deep. He will get clear of Barker. Now Jim Ott will maybe try and do the same. Maybe try and use Barker as a pick for Hudson. We'll see how these two shake out. Now almost contact there off of turn number 4, as I think Joe Hudson got a little bit tight. Then with the amount of wheel he had in that 23 machine, then got a little bit loose then. Once again, we see the 23 machine a little bit loose there on corner exit, so Hudson definitely getting that right rear a little bit hot in that McDonald's 23 machine, as Jim Ott trying to show the nose to the high side of Johnny Barker here. Barker, though, will clear himself up to the wall, so Ott will either have to try and shoot down to the bottom side or try and get a run here in 1 and 2, and once again try and peek to that outside lane here. Further on back here, Kevin Stone working his way up into the top 10 in this 17 machine. Kevin Stone up into 9th there, just getting around Frank Zingen in that AC Delco number 62 machine. Out in front, nothing has changed up towards the front here. It is Logan Koger, Isaac Salas, Dustin Coggin, Steve Ritter, and then now Matt Barber into the top 5 here. Jim Ott will take a peek to the inside of Barker, though. Barker will drive it in there deep. Ott will try and get the corner exit he needs to stay to the inside of the 6. Not going to have it here. Here comes Joe Hudson once again. Hudson taking a peek, not going to have the run, though, that he needs. He will fall back into line, but as you can tell, corner speeds very slow, straightaway speeds very high, and it's all about getting a run on someone and trying to take it as quickly as possible, because you can definitely get hung on up and stuck behind another car here at Gateway. Here we go now. Joe Hudson to the inside of Jim Ott. Has to check up big time because down there is a 6 car of Johnny Barker. So Barker now trying to hold on to 2 different lanes as cars behind him side by side, at least through 3 and 4, going to single file out once again. So Ott knows he has to get around Barker here sooner than later and trying everything he can to do just that. And Joe Hudson says, you know what? If we get an easy open lane, we're going to take it. And he has been taking it each and every lap as these guys both have yet to get around the 6 car of Barker. Barker, I tell you what, doing a great job nursing that damage on the right front of that 6 machine. Once again, Ott gonna shade down low, show the nose to Barker. That time Barker misses his marks, gets the outside wall. So we'll have a big run down this back straightaway, but Jim Ott able to get on by. So move the 4 car back up into 6 where he started here tonight. So I will now try and run down Matt Barber, about a 2-second gap to Barber as he will get a little bit sideways. As off of turn number 4 there, Ott will get a piece of the wall. That puts Johnny Barker right back into this. Barker and Ott once again side by side. Jim Ott up top in the 4 machine. Johnny Barker down low. Now here comes Joe Hudson as well. Hudson sees the open top lane, going to take advantage of that. And man, Joe Hudson going to stay right with Jim Ott. Almost contact there as Ott slides on up. Ott slides down and Hudson slides on up, and almost in a crash course with each other. Up in front, top 2 kind of by themselves for the time being, but Steve Ritter has gotten around Dustin Coggin, and Coggin starting to lose touch just a little bit to these top runners as now Matt Barber has reeled in this 46 machine. So the 2 best battles on the speedway here are between Coggin and Barber, as well as Ott and Hudson. Hudson with a good exit there off of turn number 4. Gonna once again shade down to this bottom side, and let's ride on board with Jim Ott looking on back here to this 23 machine, and let's see what maybe Joe Hudson's doing a little bit different than Ott, or what Ott is doing different than Hudson here. That time a really smooth 3 and 4 for Jim Ott there. Able to buy himself a little bit of breathing room, but man, I tell you what, Joe Hudson really good into turn number 1 and off of turn number 2. I mean, closes right on up to the back bumper though. Hudson gonna get a little bit of wheel spin once again, and you can see the time that loses. Just a little bit of wheel spin on corner exit with these long straightaways, and you can lose 5 car lengths right there. Another interesting note here tonight, right on board there with Jim Ott looking at the lap times, already over a second of fall off, closing on up to 2 seconds of fall off compared to the best race time versus the last race time. So tire fall off definitely a big factor here at Gateway, and something we are going to have to keep an eye on here for this one, as with that fall off, the driver that took it easy there at the start, Steve Ritter, he's now within 3 car lengths of our front 2 runners here. Kevin Stone now on the attack to Johnny Barker. So 17 machine has reeled in the 6. We'll see how these 2 kind of sort on out. Then right behind them, Frank Zingen and Rob Lowell starting to duke it on out there for the 10th position as well. So we'll see what Stone has in his back pocket. We saw Ott, spend, I want to say, upwards of 5 laps behind the 6 car. Should be interesting to see how quickly the 17 machine can get on by here as we start to approach, 30% of this race already completed here tonight. Not quite there yet, but definitely tracking there here in a hurry as first 30 laps here underway. And I tell you what, has been clean and green to kick off the race here tonight at Gateway. That should come as no surprise. I mean, last week at Las Vegas, kind of, a different story. 7 cautions there, definitely not really the average, because then we look back 2 weeks ago, no cautions. 3 weeks ago, 1 caution. And then 4 weeks ago, about 4 cautions. So we'll have to see how this one works out. Like I said, with the group of drivers we have here tonight and the amount of cars we have, we could easily be looking at a green to checkered race here in this one, as we get a battle for the race lead starting to heat on up once again. And it's looking like a 3-car battle, as last time by, fastest car on the track was Steve Ritter. So Ritter definitely rocking and rolling here in the 61 machine. Might not be the case here for this lap, as I think Ritter didn't get off of turn number 2 the greatest there, but man, makes up a ton of time there through 3 and 4. Right behind them, Matt Barber able to get around Dustin Coggin, so move Barber up into 4th, Coggin back to 5th here, as now Kevin Stone to the outside of Johnny Barker. Barker going to try and hang on strong on this bottom side. Stone trying to keep the momentum rocking and rolling up top. Barker going to be able to defend as Rob Lowell big time sideways there off of turn number 2. Here comes now Brandon Guerin to the outside of the 21 machine. Side by side battle, so deeper in the field. This is a battle for 11th in this one, but these guys could be saving their stuff, taking it easy as, wow, Rob Lowell, big time sideways moment there off of turn number 4. Luckily able to hang on to that 21 machine, live to fight another day, but that thing was very, very sideways. I'm sure that right rear not the happiest on that 21 right now. So the field kind of calming on down just a little bit here for the time being. So I think here on lap 35, while cars are getting set up to make their next moves and whatnot, we'll turn it on over. Let the cars do a little talking here once again and do a little turn 3, turn it up here tonight at Gateway. back up here to the front of this one. Returning race leader here tonight, Isaac Salas, back to the point, as now Koger under fire from Steve Ritter, as we get 3 wide for a split second there through 3 and 4. Man, that was close racing, as Logan Koger trying to do everything he can to keep that 61 behind him. But I have a feeling that 61 is Steve Ritter, man. He is a man on a mission. Took it easy at the start. Was nice and gentle to those tires, and that is paying dividends right now. And that could go the same thing for the 16 machine as Matt Barber as well, as Barber is running down these leaders here in that red 16 right behind as well. So side-by-side battle now for P number 2. Logan Koger up top, Steve Ritter on the bottom side. Those two will go heads up racing into turn number 1. Ritter down low, Koger up top, and still side by side we have our first, it looks like, driver to pit road here. That looks like the 21 machine of Rob Lowell. So we'll see if that is a scheduled stop, but that could split it into 3s, as, oh man, Salas with a late move to pit road there. So our race leader Salas heading to pit road with that. That hands over the race leader Logan Koger once again here. So green flag pit stops underway here tonight. Johnny Barker here down on pit road as well. So we already have 3 cars here down on pit road here this time by. We'll see if we get some more takers to pit road. Looks like Koger gonna stay on out. Ritter gonna let Barber on by. So Ritter gonna stay on out. Looks like no real takers here to pit road, at least this lap here. As Rob Lowell down and away, he is done with his service. No penalty or anything like that on pit road. Same with Salas here, so he will get rocking and rolling here tonight. Same with the 6 car of Johnny Barker. He'll get back out there. So 3 cars safely down and away from pit road here tonight. As now Matt Barber's starting to put pressure on our race leader. Let's see what the 16 machine here can do. As if there's any basketball fans out here tonight. Looks like the U of M Michigan Wolverines going to the Elite 8 here, so that's definitely exciting. I'm pumped up to watch my Spartans here play after the conclusion of this one. As here we go, battle for the race lead. Matt Barber taking a peek to the inside of Logan Koger. Koger gonna have the preferred lane, at least when it comes to a side-by-side battle. It seems like that top side is where you want to be at. But Matt Barber gonna make contact with Logan there. Barber up the racetrack. Not sure if he locked on up or what happened there. And Logan Koger with a great save in that 80 machine was not only able to hang on to that race car, but also keep the race lead. Wow, that could have been a big time moment here, especially considering all the playoff and point scenarios with that one. Wow. Matt Barber with that lockup gonna head to pit road right away in that 16 machine. So Barber down here in this one. I think these guys might be trying to one-stop this race. So if they can make it to, you know, lap 55, maybe for sure if they can make it a 60, they are good to the end of this one. 55 will put them right on the edge. So should be interesting. I mean, the guys that, you know, came on 40, probably gonna try and two-stop it if I had to guess. Matt Barber down and away from pit road, so he will of course sit 1 lap down for the time being, as with pitting there, you know, will come out 1 lap down. But we could see Isaac Salas on those new tires slicing it and dicing his way up through the field. So the 5 car pretty quickly going to be back on the lead lap with fresh tires, but going to have a long way to go, you know, whole track to try and make on up, as that goes to show just the difference new tires can make here in this one. Also right behind them here we see Jim Ott getting around Dustin Coggin. So Ott currently up to P number 3 for the time being, but remember 12th, 13th, I should say 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th all have visited pit road. Everyone inside the top 10 has yet to visit pit road here tonight. Yeah, looks like here for some old March Madness update here. Looks like Spartans down early to the Yukon Huskies. Spartans have 4, Huskies have 8, as it looks like they head into the first TV timeout of the evening. So, gonna keep an eye on this one. But right now, taking an eye here at the battle for the race lead. And look at this, the driver that led the field to the green, back out in front right before lap 50. Steve Ritter back leading the field here tonight. So we'll see what kind of pace Ritter can have here with the fresh air out in front of him. Matt Barber trying to work his way back up through the field and get back on the lead lap with those fresh tires. As you see right there, Barber able to get around Koger for that P number 2 position. Now Barber trying to get back on the lead lap, going to do just that. They're down the back straightaway, so that puts about 12 cars back on the lead lap for the time being. As right behind them, Joe Hudson trying to work around Dustin Coggin. This will be a battle for the 4th position, as Hudson down low, Coggin up top, and once again, Joe Hudson continuing to work his way up through the field here in this one, as the 23 machine up into 4th here on lap number 50. So back here in this one, another driver here fighting to get their way back on the lead lap. That would be the 6th car of Johnny Barker. Barker now getting around P number 2. Gonna try and get around the race leader, Steve Ritter. That'll put then, once again, 13 cars back on the lead lap here in this one, as everyone's starting to really kind of spread on out. The closest battle here on the track right now is this battle for 3rd, and that's about a half a second or so between them. That is Jim Ott here and Joe Hudson. And you could see that battle about anywhere from 7 to probably 12 or so car lengths down these straightaways. That's the closest battle on the speedway here currently. As we see another car here heading to pit road, that is the 1 car of Brandon Guerin. Hopefully we get 1 car here pitting here pretty soon, because I do want to mention pit road. This track definitely having a weird one. You have to enter pit road all the way back there in turn number 3. Use the whole access road. You can't, you know, dive in off of turn number 4, anything like that. So that's what makes this place kind of unique here, and that you have to commit to pit road pretty much down the back straightaway. As now we see Frank Zingen heading to pit road, but hauling the mail on it. Big time tire smoke from the 62 machine. Did he get a woe down in time to not receive a penalty? We'll keep an eye on that, as everyone trying to make it to that 1 stop mark. Like I said, once we make it to lap 55, most all of this field then can make it to the end on fuel. Jim Ott now has run down Logan Koger. So remember, we said the best gap a few laps ago was between him and Hudson. That gap's still about the same, but both of those cars have run down this 80 machine of Koger. So We'll keep an eye on this, see how this battle goes between the 4 and the 80. Because it could also have an X Factor coming on in. That is the lap down car of Rob Lowell. He is currently trying to make his way back up through the field here as odd to the inside of Koger, side by side into turn number 1. Logan up top, odd down low. They make contact. Logan goes on around. Logan Koger able to lock it on down, keep it from getting into that outside wall, but contact for a battle for second, as that will draw a first caution of the evening. And I tell you what, that is an interesting time to get it, because like I said, from here on out, everyone can make it on fuel. So the drivers that pitted, 10 to 15 laps ago, do they decide to come back in, use that final set of tires, or do they wait it on out and hope for another caution here? As under our first caution of the evening, we'll keep an eye here on pit road activity. That pretty much every car that didn't pit there, 8th on up, will be heading to pit road here for the first time on the night here, but it will be Steve Ritter leading the way down to pit road here, as followed by Jim Hott, Joe Hudson, Dustin Coggin, Kevin Stone, Logan Koger, Ron Holyfield, Bryson Anderson, all heading to pit road. Like I said, the tough decision comes for Salas, Barber, Barker, Lowell, Zingen, and Guerin. As we see that top 8 here down on pit road here tonight, as we'll keep an eye on the end of pit road. Looks like Rob Lowell going to be the lucky dog here. He will get his lap back. Everyone else going to try and stay on out for this wave round here. So everyone down into their pit boxes here tonight. Going to probably fill it on up with fuel, of course. Put 4 fresh virtual racing tires on their race cars and send it back on out. Have a good data point from the first half of this one. Let's see how it shakes out for the second half of this race. Steve Ritter, the first car off of pit road. Then it's Jim Ott, Joe Hudson, Dustin Coggin, and Logan Koger. Going to be the top 5 off of pit road there under our first caution of the evening. Frank Zingen and Brandon Guerin both got trapped a lap down here, so both of those cars will take the wave round here tonight, and with the 1 to go signal, we'll get back on the lead lap, and that'll put everyone that took the green flag here back on the lead lap and in contention of a win here tonight at Gateway. So Zingen will get waved on or by here. Same with Brandon Guerin. So both of those cars will get on the loud pedal. Going to try and catch up to the back of the field. And it looks like both Salas and Barber going to stay on out. Decided not to pit there and use up a set of tires. So it'll be slightly older tires, about 15 and 10 lap older tires than most of the field here on the front row. Should be interesting to see how this shakes on out here. As the first restart of the night, Isaac Salas in the 5 car, going to be in control. Matt Barber, the other car on the front row here tonight. And what do we say, with this caution? I have a good feeling probably won't be too many more here tonight. Let's do a little turn 3, turn it up on a restart here at Gateway. I tell you what, race cars all over this racetrack here as new tires trying to slice and dice their way through those older tires. Isaac Salas up in that third lane. Steve Ritter we saw way down on the racetrack as well, but it is Jim Ott here with the point. Logan Koger already back up into P number 2. Dustin Coggin sits in third. Isaac Salas trying to hang on to fourth there as Salas will get a piece of the wall there off of turn number 2. And it is Matt Barber, Joe Hudson here side by side for this 6th position as Hudson a little bit loose there on corner entry, helping that car rotate big time, help him keep that thing pinned on the bottom. And Joe Hudson here back up into 6th here currently. Last time by, best time for Jim Ott. So Ott is getting in a rhythm here in this one, starting to get things rocking and rolling just after the halfway point here tonight at Gateway. So we'll see what kind of pace the 4 car can have up there in clean air. Steve Ritter once again, just like we saw in that first run, took it on easy here at the start of this restart. Gonna run his pace here and then see what he has later in this run. Jim Ott gonna give Logan Koger a ton of space there in this one. I think probably let him on by, say, you know what, sorry about that contact earlier. We're gonna go try and make it up to you a little bit here by letting you on go here this time by, you know, later in the race. Might be a little bit of a different scenario, a little bit of a different case, of course, but for the time being, I like that call there from the 4 machine. It's better, it's like the old saying, it's better to have more friends on the racetrack than enemies, and that is definitely the case, especially with sim racing, where money doesn't come into a factor. You know, you can get junked or junk someone else's car and not have to pay for much, you know. Might get in trouble with some other stuff, of course, but at least doesn't hurt the old wallet. So Logan Koger back to the point here. Jim Ott in 2nd. Dustin Coggin saying, you know what, maybe we got to change up the pace just a little bit here this run. Right now currently running in that 3rd position here. So we see those drivers on those older tires continuing to fall through the standings here currently. That being the 5 car of Isaac Salas, as well as the 16 of Matt Barber. Salas now in jeopardy of losing 7th. Barber now losing P number 9, it looks like. So these two continue to slide through the order. As remember, those guys on, you know, 10 plus older, I should say 10 plus lap older tires than most of the rest of the field here currently. So that's the one bummer with short pitting here with this kind of style of racing, that if we do get a caution just like that in the middle of green flag pit stops, it can definitely put a big time hamper on your strategy, as well as the track position you maybe were going to get, as well as the track position that you did work for earlier in the race. So Ron Holyfield here we're currently looking at in the 25 machine. A little bit of right front damage on that Ford Mustang, but currently running in 11th. Bryson Anderson in the top 10 for the first time here tonight. So that 32 machine of Anderson looking pretty good. I mean, no damage that I can see on that race car, and running some pretty good pace here into the top 10 for the first time here tonight. Trying to get some more with Salas and Barber right in front of him as well. So already a little bit into the second half of this race here tonight. We start lap 69 of 112 here. So getting down to the closing, let's say, stages of this race as Matt Barber trying to work around Isaac Salas. These two with similar older tires here, trying to fight for that track position. You know, be one spot better on pit road could always make the difference, because every restart, you never know what may happen out there on the racetrack. Right behind them, Brandon Guerin here trying to work over Ron Holyfield. So this is a battle for the 11th position, as Brandon Guerin will get that spot from the 25, though Ron Holyfield in that 25 machine going to drive it in there deep, going to try and stay to the outside of the one car. Brandon Guerin, though, able to complete the pass there off of turn number 2. Up towards the front here, top 5 starting to kind of accordion together here tonight. Joe Hudson starting to tag onto the back of this group, as Dustin Coggins still right there within striking distance. Steve Ritter there as well in that 61 machine. I want to say Ritter, one of the best cars on the long run, especially in the first half of the race. Can he replicate it here for the second half here? Last time by, best time of these drivers were Joe Hudson. So that 23 machine definitely looking very, very sporty. This time by, we'll take a look here at the lap times. And last time by, it was the 46 machine of Coggin who closes up right to the back bumper of Jim Ott. So everyone in this kind of gaggle of 5 cars right towards the front, kind of trading the best times between them. So that means all of them kind of running similar pace, definitely gauging the pace off of one another for the time being. As this time by at the stripe, we see about 40 laps to go left in this one. So already 15 laps away from the old countdown clock here tonight at Gateway. Deeper in the field here, Matt Barber has yet to get around Isaac Salas. So once again, we see another case of a car, you know, kind of maybe able to run down another car, but not be able to get alongside him to complete a pass. Maybe can, of course, get alongside him, but completing the pass here tonight seems like it comes at a premium, let's say, all things considered. As we'll see right here, Matt Barber to the inside of Isaac Salas. Salas up top has the momentum. We'll have the preferred lane here through 1 and 2, so we'll keep an eye on these two, see how this works on out. But Salas should be able to defend, as Barber, though, gets a good exit off of 2. Matt Barber able to complete the pass right there. Rob just a splash and go from the 21 machine. Now we see Johnny Barker also down on pit road here in this one. So not sure if Barker having an unscheduled stop or not. We saw damage early on to the 6th machine. Looks like maybe more damage on the right rear. And yeah, looks like maybe some sort of issue as we take a look here at Johnny Barker here in the 6th. We'll take a look here off of turn number 2, and oh man, it looks like just loses the back end of that one. Pretty big hit to that inside wall. It keeps that car rolling, but yeah, it looks like Johnny Barker's tough night just got even tougher. Might be our first loss of the race, as we still have 13 cars out here on the racetrack, 12 of which still on the lead lap here. So out in front, it is Logan Koger still leading the way. Looks like at the moment, the 80 machine will probably walk away with the 3 extra bonus points as well for the most laps led. So it's going to be even more of an uphill battle for the likes of Coggin and Guerin to try and close into that points lead here with only 4 races left. As our race leader big time sideways there off of turn number 2. Jim Ott here going to shoot it down to the inside of that 80 machine. Remember, these two made contact earlier in the night. I wonder if that is on the minds of both them. As though Koger, though, maybe starting to lose that right rear tire just a little bit. We'll see how he gets off of turn number 2 next time, but that is what these drivers have to be careful of, especially later into the run, is starting to lose that drive, especially there off of turn number 2. We now see the AC Delco 62 machine of Frank Zingen here down on pit road, so Zingen will bring it on down here. I'll put the 62 machine 1 lap down, leaving about 11 cars now on the lead lap as this battle inside the top 5, man, still looking very, very good. As let's ride on board here with Joe Hudson at the back of this battle and ride on board with the 62 machine here. Right on board with Hudson, you can see how good Steve Ritter's still able to wrap that bottom side here at Gateway. So that tells me that car is still handling pretty well from the 61 machine. Still driving that thing down on the bottom side. Still getting that car to turn and get the exit that he needs. So that tells me that that 61 is still feeling pretty sporty late into this run here. As Dustin Coggin here is starting to search on around the racetrack a little bit higher through 3 and 4. Now actually lose him a little bit of time, at least compared to Jim Ott there. So Coggin then back down to the bottom here in 1 and 2. And you can hear there, that's where the trouble with the wheel spin comes into big time effect. These guys downshifting into 3rd, at least through 1 and 2, try and get that car to rotate through that tighter corner of 1 and 2, and then get that good acceleration, that good drive on off, and that's where it can get into trouble, you know, with that extra high RPM and whatnot, can create extra sort of wheel spin and create some big time problems for drivers like we saw with the 6 machine. Another car here down on pit road, Bryson Anderson in that 32 machine, he is down on pit road. Now here comes Joe Hudson looking to the inside of Steve Ritter. Ritter will let Hudson go on through, so Joe Hudson up to P number 4 here. We'll see if he has some more and maybe end up on the podium here, as though Hudson big time sideways though off of turn number 4. So 9 cars here currently on the lead lap, as Bryson Anderson down and away from pit road. Frank Zingen able to get that spot away though from the 32 machine. And it looks like maybe even Rob Lowe will come out just in front of Bryson Anderson as well, as Anderson still on the access road, as Rob Lowe is still up to speed. Rob Lowe with an issue off of turn number 4. He will hit the inside wall just like his teammate Johnny Barker. And Rob Lowe going to have heavy damage to the left front of that 21 machine. Oh, you hate to see it this late into the race. And it looks like Rob Lowe going to call tonight, going to bring that thing just straight to pit road. And that is a tough break. So our second casualty probably of the night here. So Steve Ritter was able to get back around Joe Hudson for that fourth position. So Ritter might be turning on up the pace just a little bit here, knowing that the sand in the hourglass starting to run out here tonight at Gateway. He knows he has to get on up through traffic because we've seen it many times here tonight. Passing and completing the pass is a premium here in this one. As Ritter all over the back bumper here of Coggin down the front straightaway. Car length gap separates those two as a battle for a podium spot as Ritter back down to the bottom side. Coggin up top. Ritter going to get a nose to the inside of Coggin. It's going to be almost a heads-up drag race here down the back straightaway, though Coggin will have a little bit more of the momentum, but Ritter able to keep the nose to the inside. This is where this bottom side could be better, especially here through the longer sweeper of 3 and 4. And Ritter going to take advantage of that. Same with Joe Hudson as well. Ritter back up to P number 3. Hudson trying to get that 4th spot away from Coggin. Going to do just that into turn number 1. So with 25 laps left in this one, Coggin still fighting for that position as Hudson big time sideways down the back straightaway. Frank Zingen here in the mix as well, though. Frank has fresh tires once again and trying to race his way back onto the lead lap in case there is a late race caution here in this one. So the good news for the 62 machine, he is in the lucky dog spot for the time being. As it looks like Brandon Guerin, another driver, long time here on pit road. Don't really maybe see an incident or anything like that for the one machine, but he is down on pit road here for a long time as well. So not sure what happened to Brandon, but a tough break here for the 21, the 1, and the 6 with now 23 laps left in this one. Last time by, Logan Koger with a 36.49, Jim out of 36.65, but then it is Steve Ritter with a 36.37, so Ritter a 10th better than Koger, only 0.8 of a second back. He can definitely have enough time to run him on down, but it's a whole nother thing to get on around someone, especially here tonight at Gateway. Though Ritter could get some help as Frank Zingen could maybe clear the way for this 61 machine. If Ritter's smart here, he'll stay right on the back bumper of the 62 as he makes gaps in front of him with those front two cars. He can maybe try and drive his way up into this race lead here late in this one. Ott starting to re-pick up the pace here in this one. Ott last time by a 36.33, so the 4 car figuring out some speed here for the time being, able to close on in within 0.3 of Koger with the race lead. So Ott and Koger still running that kind of middle lane, letting the car wash on up and then cutting it down low, where Steve Ritter still wrapping that inside white line through the corner. At some point here, Ritter going to have to maybe switch lanes to carry that little bit more speed here, because I don't know if there's enough time for these top two to really kind of fall back into the lap of the 61. I think the 61 may have to push just a little bit to try and run down these front runners here with now 20 to go there last time by at the start finish line. So Frank Zingen here back on the lead lap. Now put the top 10 cars once again back and fully on the lead lap for the time being. So now currently it is the 32 machine of Bryson Anderson currently in the lucky dog spot. As it looks like Brandon Guerin here able to get back out on track. So the one car could maybe get a spot there from Rob Lowell. So Brandon Guerin back here out on track. Like I said, that is good to see the one car back here and back in the race. As here we go, we head back up to this best battle. Kind of these top four guys all within about a half a second or so of one another. This race could be won by any of these guys in this top four, when now 18 laps left in this one. Jim Ott able to carry a little bit more momentum into turn number 3 there, closes right back on the back bumper there of Logan Koger. So Koger able to get the good drive and good exit there off of turn number 4. Buy himself a little bit of breathing room, and once again, we'll keep an eye here on corner speed, see where cars are making up or losing time on one another. Once again, we see this top four starting to close on up to one another here once again. A little bit deeper in the field, battle for a top 5 finish starting to heat on up, as Kevin Stone has run down Dustin Coggin, and now within 3 car lengths of that 46 machine. So Kevin Stone here, I believe his first ever 802 Friday Night Busch Series start, could walk away with a top 5 here. $15 to go here at the start finish line, and yeah, still not missing any sort of action or anything like that through the field. Let's run through the current running order here in the field. Logan Koger here leading the way. He comes into tonight with a 25-point advantage over Dustin Coggin, and then 42 points over Brandon Guerin. Right now walking away with 4 bonus points, 1 for leading the lap, and then another 3 for the most laps led, as he has done both of those things here tonight. Jim Ott hot on his heels though in P number 2. Steve Ritter walked away with the Riptide Radio Pole Award here in qualifying. He sits in 3rd. 4th is Joe Hudson, one of the biggest movers of the night. He's up to P number 4. Dustin Coggin here trying to hang on to a top 5 finish. He sits in 5th. 6th going to Kevin Stone here in this 17 machine. Matt Barber on those old tires, hoping for a late race caution, as this 16 machine has shown a lot of speed here tonight. Just didn't quite get the strategy right. That can go for the driver in 8th as well. Isaac Salas, another one on those older tires, hoping for a late race caution. But Salas sits in 8th. 9th is Ron Holyfield in this Ford Performance number 25 machine. Frank Zingen pitted back on the lead lap here in the 62 machine. He rounds out the top 10 as Bryson Anderson sits 11th. Brandon Guerin here in 12th. Bravo 13th, and Johnny Barker here rounding out the field. As here we go, the battle's starting to pick on up here for a second. Steve Ritter starting to put a lot of pressure on Jim Ott. Trying to hang on to this P number 2 position. We'll see if I can try and run down our race leader, but I think I tell you what, he is being hunted here pretty hard by the 61 machine. As that time by, we see 11 laps to go. Next time by will be 10, so time is definitely at a premium now. Now, whatever you have left in the tank here, you got to start using it on up here. Isaac Salas here down on pit road here late in this one. Probably a splash and go for the 5 machine, as looks like he might not have enough fuel here to make it to the end of this one. That time by 2 open palms, 2 open hands from the flagman as we go 10 laps left in this one. Next time by will be single digits laps to go here. As Brandon Guerin trying to slice and dice his way up through the field. That one car on fresh tires, just trying to get back one of those many laps down he currently sits. But anything is, you know, helpful in the grand scheme of things, because you never know where that 1 point could make a difference when it's all tallied up at the end of the season. Jim Ott was able to hang off Steve Ritter there, but now big time sideways off of turn number 2. Now we'll let Steve Ritter to close right back up to that 4 machine. So we'll keep an eye here on this as Brandon Guerin able to get around Logan Koger this time by. Koger will be the first to see 8 laps to go here tonight at Gateway. Ritter will shade to the bottom side. Ott will drive it in towards the middle. Ritter having to get really on the brakes hard to keep that car from washing on up into the side of the 4. Joe Hudson trying to take advantage of the situation. He will drive it in there deep, not make it stick either, so they will all stay in line for the time being. But Steve Ritter really trying to get around Jim Ott here late in this one. Ritter just pretty much needs one mistake from Ott. Get in a corner a little bit too hot, get a little bit of wheel spin, anything like that, and Ritter could be up into second, could have a chance to run down our race leaders. Once again, we see Ott and Hudson there get loose off of turn number 2. With that move right there, Ritter able to get clear from Ott, so that'll put the 61 machine up into P number 2. Does he have enough time to run down our race leader, Logan Koger? Because this time by, we now see 6 laps left in this one. Another driver we see down on pit road here, Matt Barber, also making a quick stop here in that 16 machine, so now putting out only 8 cars on the lead lap here in this one. As we will keep an eye here on Steve Ritter, see what pace he has left in the tank here, because this time by we only see one hand from the flagman. It is now 5 laps left in this one here tonight. Looking at the times there last time by, Logan Koger with one of the best times of anyone out on track. The 80 machine able to throw down a 36.53, where Steve Ritter a 36.69, Jim Ott a 36.76, and Joe Hudson a 36.59. So Koger maybe saved his stuff to the right time right here at the end of this one, as he is now trying to drive on away here from Steve Ritter. Joe Hudson, Jim Ott still in a pretty close battle with each other within 2 car lengths. That can be the same for the battle for 5th as well. Dustin Coggin and Kevin Stone here, right here within 2 car lengths of each other late in this one. Everyone else very, very spread on out throughout the rest of the field here in this one. So those are the best 2 battles here out on the speedway. With now 3 laps left in this one here tonight at Gateway. So Hudson here battling for a podium spot. Getting a chance to talk with me here at the end of this race here tonight at Gateway. Hudson was up on the podium last week at Las Vegas, also on the podium 2 weeks ago at Chicagoland. So trying to keep a 3-week podium streak alive from the 23 machine, having to get around Jim Ott then. Kevin Stone now to the inside of Dustin Coggin, this time by for the field. Popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 laps to go left tonight here at Gateway. So Stone to the inside of Coggin. Those two make it safely here through 1 and 2. How does the exit of turn number 2 look? Both cars on the loud pedal, a little wiggle from both of them, but a heads-up drag race for the 2 heading into turn number 3. This is where the bottom side can be that little bit stronger lane here, as Logan Koger will see the white flag here tonight. This race is official. We are a 1 caution race, as Kevin Stone able to get that position right as he takes the white flag here tonight. But I tell you what, Logan Koger needed a good finish. Has been kind of on a streak with finishes, he probably hasn't been the happiest with, but here tonight able to turn things on around, as Logan Koger will head to victory lane once again, and this will make it career win number 2 on the season, as Logan Koger picks up the win here tonight at Gateway. Steve Ritter will bring it home in second. Jim Ott will round out the podium here tonight, as it's Hudson in 4th, Stone rounding out the top 5. So that will do it here tonight for Race in Action. We'll keep the camera on the 80 machine as he will get ready to celebrate this win. Go burn it on down on the front straightaway, and then don't go anywhere, folks, because right after that we have our post-race show where we'll be talking to our top 3 finishers. But here tonight, our points leader will pick up the win. Logan Koger down in victory lane. He's gonna burn it on down, as Matt Barber will finish the race. But down on the front straightaway, Logan Koger getting the job done, and maybe a quick little burnout. Gonna head to the end, it looks like, of pit road. Maybe whip that thing on around, and we'll see what he has in store for us here. As like I said, Logan Koger a little bit on a cold streak. Not usually his MO, but able to get the job done here tonight. Has been one of the most consistent drivers here on the season, and picking up career win number 2 on the season. That'll put him, pretty much 4th most wins on the season. A lot of drivers with 1 win on the season. Then, of course, you got the names of Gibson, Coleman, and Kelly, all sitting 4 apiece as well. But don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back here after a quick commercial break here and chat with our top 3 finishers.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here with our post-race show. First driver we'll be talking to here tonight is our third place finisher, that being the driver of the number 4 machine. It will be Jim Ott here tonight. Jim, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, what's up, Brett?
How are we doing here tonight on kind of, a little bit of a rare Friday night appearance for you, my man?
Yeah, it is, man. I want to run with these guys this evening and really get some practice for the cup side of things. And not one of my stronger tracks. Definitely learned a lot, and I'm kind of surprised with the outcome this evening.
Yeah, I mean, overall, man, a P number 3 finish. Can't be too upset with that, all things considered, because this was a tough race. Kind of light on the car count. One caution. It came down to who had the best race pace, right?
Yeah, it sure did. Of course, that was the one caution with my mistake, but I'm glad that Logan was able to recover and ultimately take over the win. But yeah, it was a lot of tire management tonight. I had really trouble finding the line in 1 and 2, 3 and 4. I felt I rolled really well, but yeah, man, it was just a good learning opportunity for me and a lot of information to take over into Sunday.
Yeah, that definitely can be the case. And I mean, here tonight, you don't really see Xfinity cars shifting too often. The Cup side, totally different story, right, with the sequential gearbox there. But here tonight, quite a bit of shifting. How often were you doing it? And we saw some people pay the price with wheel spin and then smacking the inside wall as well.
Actually, Brad, I didn't touch the shifter tonight. I kept it in 4th, and I was just rolling the corners. So yeah, I didn't touch the shifter at all tonight.
Oh, all right. Well, good to know. Well, there's a little bit of a different strategy out here tonight. Kept it in 4th, and overall that might have worked out pretty well. Might not have had maybe the rotation in 1 and 2, but I'm sure definitely made it a lot more predictable.
Yeah, it did, and I'm not a big shifter when it comes to the Xfinity car too, or O'Reilly's, whatever it is now. But it just burns off the right rear too quick, and the Cup car, it's got the lower gear set, so you're able to kind of massage that tire a little bit, more so than this car. So I don't mind downshifting there, but yeah, man, I just had good pace. I again just wanted to get some good practice, some good info for Sunday, and yeah, man, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you got probably some of the best info. I mean, racecraft definitely in effect here tonight. Passing seemed like it was a premium, and I'm sure that will be the case, even more when it comes to Sunday.
Yeah, definitely track position is going to be a key. Man, passing was very difficult. I was trying to arc, run high diamonds. I was all over the place trying to get runs, and it was very, very difficult. So that just tells me track position come Sunday is going to be absolute key, and just got to maintain it.
Yeah, that would definitely be the case there. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you out on track Sunday. Last Sunday, of course, a P number 4 here on Sunday. Can't wait to see what you have. But here tonight, Jim, up here on the podium. So before we let you go, my man, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out on the broadcast here.
Yeah, Brett, of course, always you and Turn 3. Rob and the crew, man, and appreciate just being here week in week out. Love everything that's going on in this league, man. I so excited to run it. So just appreciate all the efforts involved in and putting this thing together. But again, looking forward to Sunday. Can't wait to hopefully talk to you then.
Yeah, I tell you what, we look forward to seeing you out there on Sunday. So, Jim, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and good luck when it comes to Sunday night racing action here with the next gen car.
Thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our third place finisher, the driver of the Ford machine. It was Jim Ott. Now we'll head up to our runner-up finisher, that being the 61 machine of Steve Ritter. Steve, do you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how you feeling after 112 laps here at Gateway?
Tired. I'm feeling tired.
Yeah, I could believe so, because this place, it seemed like, kept you on your toes, and man, it seemed like this place could be frustrating as well.
Yeah, it was 112 laps at elbows up and watching what you're doing with the right foot. But yeah, the car ran well. I had no idea, no expectations on what we were to do here, and obviously qualifying went well. I didn't know where that came from. I actually spun the first lap and then went back out and put that lap down. But yeah, Logan ran a great race. I caught him in the first stint, and I could not get him in the second. Jim and I battled a little bit there for a second, and I think I burned up the right front a little bit and couldn't get back to Logan. But congrats to him and everybody. That was a really fun race. That was a great race.
Yeah, that was a great one, and we saw the classic kind of Steve Ritter right from the drop of the green flag. As 61 backs off the pace, keeps the tires underneath, and yeah, you seem like the car to beat, especially late in that first run before we got that caution. Was that how you're feeling as well behind the wheel?
Yeah, I mean, we got kind of racy in the beginning, and then everybody kind of singled out. I think everybody realized, like, we keep doing this, no one's going to make it more than 30 laps. But then they kind of singled out, and I just got into a rhythm. And I mean, this track is kind of weird in the way it's like a flat Darlington and backwards, right? So you just really slowing one and two, and then kind of being able to get through three and four. And that inside line worked really well for me tonight. Everybody else kind of was up a lane, but I stayed right on those rumble strips, and it seemed to save the tires really good.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up that point. You're the car that was the longest committed, let's say, on that bottom side. It seemed like you never really got off of it. And I tell you what, man, you can make up a lot of time on entry, though the car's still feeling pretty good. It seemed like it had some good pace down there. And like you said, I'm sure it saved some tires as well.
Yeah, I think it did save the right rear a little bit. You just had to really mind the throttle coming off. And I think those guys running just the lane up were burning up that right front just a little bit more. And by the end of the run, if we got a long enough green, which we did, it paid off just staying down there. So yeah, worked out. Love it when a plan comes together, Brett.
Yeah, no, right. And that it did here tonight to P number 2. But yeah, man, overall, we got to talk about the shifting. Were you out here shifting at all? Because we got done talking with Jim Ott. He said he never touched the shifter.
Nope, I heard guys shifting, but I never touched it.
Wow, all right. So that's 2 for 2 on shifting. We'll definitely ask Logan the same question, see if he was shifting. But overall, man, we also heard from Ott, a little bit of data collecting for the race on Sunday. You're also in those, those 10 spots. You probably want a good finish when it comes Sunday night to, help things on out. Didn't have the Sunday night race last Sunday that you probably wanted. What's the game plan there, and how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, disappointing last Sunday. I'm not. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, I think well, the shifting thing will change. You're going to hear a whole lot of shifting on Sunday night. So it changes from no shifts a lap to 3 shifts a lap. So that'll change. And the car handles really good there. We've done some testing, and I think we'll be all right. I mean, who knows? We'll find out how many show up and where we end up in qualifying and go from there.
Yep, that we will, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday night. So, Steve, before we let you go here and celebrate this runner-up finish, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout-out here tonight from Gateway.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all the guys at Wolfpack Racing, they help out a lot with testing and everything, and showed up. They all showed up Thursday night to help me at Daytona, so that was kind of cool. And we ended up winning it, so it was even better. But you, Brett, obviously for doing the broadcast, all the sponsors, everybody that puts into this league and just raises a hand to help it move along. Appreciate everything everybody does here, and it's a pleasure to race here and a privilege.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Steve, we appreciate you taking the time out of your night as well to be part of the race in action. So you, my man, go enjoy the rest of tonight and get prepped on up for Sunday. And we look forward to seeing you out on track Sunday here at Gateway.
Sounds good. Thanks, Brett. Have a good night.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our runner-up finisher and our Riptide Radio poll winner. It was the 61 car of Steve Ritter. Now we'll head down to Victory Lane and talk to the man of the hour. It is the 80 machine of Logan Koger. Logan, you got a copy?
Sure do.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how are we feeling after 112 laps here at Gateway?
Sweaty.
Yeah, I could believe so. This track demands concentration here each and every lap, and man, you're able to do that with a little bit of adversity. Tell us about your race.
Oh yeah, I had a blast tonight. It was a lot of fun leading that many laps, being as dominant as I was all night. The first run, I wasn't quite as good. I lost some time and kind of fell back a little bit on that first run after about 50 laps. But that second run, man, it came to life, and we were lights out that second run.
Yeah, I was going to say, what kind of change from run one, let's say, to run number two? Because like you said, you had some good pace up front, though right towards the end of that run, starting to fade on back a little bit, whereas that second run, man, you were continuing to gap the field up until the checkered.
Yeah, I think it was more to do maybe with a little bit of traffic in the first run. I think I was in traffic a little bit longer behind, I think it was behind Isaac there in the first run. And I was able to get the lead much quicker the second run than what I did the first run. I think that made the difference. You burn the right front more when you're behind guys in traffic. And I think also, too, I backed my corner up just a little bit more, too, I think, on the second run. So that might have made a difference also.
Yeah, that's the name of the game, especially here at Gateway, because we saw times, fall off 2 seconds within 30 laps. That's a lot of time lost.
Oh, yeah, there was tire fall off big time tonight. It's definitely a race of managing your tires and everything. I was a little surprised because when I ran some test laps when this first came out, I ran just a couple test laps to try it out, and it was way too tight back then. But I think they fixed it a little bit and made it drive a lot better. This is more closer to the old Gateway, in my opinion, which I love that track when it was old Gateway, and this feels very similar. So it's a blast. I love racing here. And it's always a lot better, too, when you can go out there and dominate and win like that.
Yeah, that it does, and I'm sure it looks even and feels even better right with this points lead, walking away with the win, the bonus points for the most laps led, as well as a bonus point for the laps led. So, Logan, I know you've been kind of on a little bit of a rough patch for, finishes at the end of these races. I'm sure it feels great to put it all together, and like you said, in a pretty dominant fashion as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't really call it a rough patch, just the one race last week where I think before that I was on a streak of like 7, 8 top 10s in a row, and a bunch of those were top 5s. But it was more just not being able to get up at the front, getting the lead. I had some bad luck and probably a lot of races I should have won this year, but things just hadn't quite gone our way. But tonight things aligned and everything went smoothly. And as you see, we ended up in victory lane.
Yeah, that you did. And yeah, to go along with those top 10s and top 5s, I mean, you lead the way, tied with the most top 10 finishes. Even, I think, leaving here tonight, we'll be still tied with the top 10 finishes. But by yourself in the only driver with double digits top 5 finishes on the season here. And this will make your 12th one on the season here so far.
Yeah, that feels pretty good. Definitely it's going to help me in the championship battle. We've got 4 races to go, I think.
Yep.
So I've got 4 more to close it out. And I think now we pretty much put it away after tonight, as long as nothing crazy happens these next 4 races. Just got to make sure I don't get wrecked out. We got Homestead and Atlanta, these next 2. These are pretty good places for me. Also, wouldn't be surprised if I don't end up in victory lane again before the season's out. It'd be nice to taste victory lane one more time, too.
Yeah, that it would, because this win, if you can believe it, I was kind of mind blown with it myself. Second win on the season, but with the second win, it kind of jumped you on up to, the fourth most wins of anyone this season. So a lot of different winners, which is a good sign of a good competitive series. But win number 2, that's got to feel pretty good as well for you, all things considered.
Oh yeah, this is a very competitive league. You got a lot of fast guys in here. Mike and Chad were so dominant for most of the season. When they show up, you got to beat those two. And I think I'm right up there with them. And like I said, I feel like I've had probably 3 or 4 of these things slip away that probably could have been mine this year. But if maybe the stars had aligned on a couple of those, maybe we'd be right up there. I think 4 is the most this season. I think that's like a 3-way tie between Cody and Mike and Chad for that. But maybe we can catch them. I don't know. We got 4 races to try to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta, we make something happen there, because that's a really good place for me, depending on the setup. And Homestead, I know, will be probably pretty good as well for me.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that question. Next week we head to Homestead. One of the most fun combinations, I think, in iRacing. These O'Reilly's cars at Homestead, and it sounds like you have that race circled as well.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to Homestead. It's a great racetrack. I love the way the wore out surface, the 3 different grooves. It's a lot of fun. You can really race the racetrack. It can be very treacherous, especially as the tires begin to wear. You get really, really loose and really have to catch it on exit. But it's usually a lot of fun every time we go to Homestead, especially in these cars.
Yeah, that would definitely be the case, and look forward to seeing that race in action next week. But here tonight, Logan, down here in Victory Lane. So before we let you go and celebrate the win here tonight, we're going to go hand over the mic to you down in Victory Lane and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out on the broadcast here tonight.
Yeah, well, obviously I want to shout out my sponsor, which is Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Platinum Properties. I'm a realtor for them, and I think we represented that car pretty well tonight. So definitely call me if you live along the Alabama Gulf Coast and have any real estate needs. I don't know if anybody's watching this, highly doubt it, but you've got, shout out to everybody who puts on the 802 League and everybody involved. I had a lot of fun racing Jim and Steve tonight and Isaac, and I think Johnny was up there too. So shout out to all of them. It was a great race, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Logan, once again, congrats on the win here tonight. Definitely looking very good when it comes to those points here, my man. And yeah, you have yourself a great one, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here before the season wraps on up.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hopefully maybe we might clinch this thing a race or 2 in advance at this rate.
Yeah, that would be definitely awesome to see. So, Logan, you have yourself a great rest of one, and I'll be down there to join the party in the 80 crew camp here once I wrap up here in the broadcast booth.
Thank you, bud. You have a good one.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our race winner, Logan Koger, getting the job done here tonight and extending that points lead. So that would do it for the post-race show. Let's run through tonight's race results, get things wrapped on up. Now I can go watch those old Spartans play the Huskies here, win the second half of that game. So Logan Koger, our points leader coming into tonight, will leave extending that points lead with the win here at Gateway. Steve Ritter will finish in the runner-up spot, walked away with the Riptide Radio Pole Award. And Jim Ott here will round out the podium here in this one. Joe Hudson will finish in 4th. Kevin Stone with a top 5 finish. Dustin Coggin will finish in 6th. Ron Holyfield in 7th. Frank Zingen will bring home 8th. Isaac Salas in 9th. And Matt Barber rounds out the top 10. Bryson Anderson will bring home 11th. 12th going to Brandon Guerin. Rob Lowe is 13th. And Johnny Barker will finish P number 14th. If you want to find out more about 802 iRacing League, be sure to check them out on Facebook by searching 802 iRacing. We also got to thank all the racers, all the sponsors, and all the people tuning in here live. So appreciate each and every one of you either tuning in here live or on the replay. Each click goes a long way. And some of those sponsors here with the league, we got to give a big shout out to BG Graphix. Looking for a sweet iRacing wrap? Be sure to hit up BG Graphix to get you set on up. Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, as well as Admin Boxx and Stone Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. So that'll do it here tonight. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network. Turn 3 is also partnered with Premier Setup, so you can find out more about them with the link in the description. That'll take you over to their website, whether you want to buy setups, paint schemes, driver coach, and they have all of it to offer, as well as a monthly subscription to get it all done in one place. So that'll do it here for it to myself tonight. Be sure to tune in on Sunday for race number 2 of the round of 10 here at Gateway. It's going to be a good one there Sunday night with these 802 Winston Cup Series. So that'll do it for me here tonight. Once again, everyone, take care, stay safe, have a great weekend, and we will catch you Sunday night. So once again, I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.